refreshing. It's Josh. Now, while that wasn't product placement of any sort, I wanted to just say that I did actually put that up for a reason. Well, looks like somebody didn't like something I said recently on my video. Well, let's just show you what they said. Well, you're a fat piece of crap, so how can you make fun of him? You suck. Well, other than the fact that there was no punctuation and poor spelling, obviously the work of a 12-year-old troll. Now, to explain the title above, fat is a new gay. I'm not trying to say that fat people are gay or gay people are fat or anything like that. I'm not trying to offend anyone. What I'm trying to talk about is the typicality of young people, particularly young males, to use the term faggot or gay or whatever to insult another young male. This was typical for quite some time. However, as people become more PC, I guess you could say, the term has started to slide a bit. But what has come in its place is, of course, the ability to call a person fat. Now, if you don't deal with weight problems yourself, you probably aren't really familiar with this particular phenomenon. In fact, you probably have never had to deal with it. But it actually is not uncommon when you're like me and slightly overweight. That's good. And to actually have someone tell you, hey, you know what, you're a fat fuck. You are a huge person. You know, of course, they don't really put it that way. Well, the fat fuck part actually I get quite often. But you usually get attacked quite often about your weight and your size. Even someone like me, who I'm actually not incredibly overweight. I am overweight. I do have a gut. I do have significant size. And I got the double chin going on here. But I am not as obese as some people do get. But the fact of the matter is, people have come to a place where we're really the only group you can still make fun of and trivialize and make smaller, as it were, because of the fact that there's no racial lines or lifestyle lines, as people perceive it, to us. When you see a fat person, what do you think? When you see someone who is overweight, what is your initial assumption? A lot of people will assume that someone who is overweight just has no control over how much they eat. Sorry, I had to put the stuff away, put some stuff in the fridge, because that joke was just playing out too far. I'm starting to make myself sick from all the takes I'm having to do on this. Kind of lost track there, and I'm sorry about that, but what I'm trying to get across is actually, this is what I have to deal with on a regular basis. Being called a fat piece of lard, a piece of crap, fat, lard, fuck, whatever. I have to deal with that quite often, and it's something that really just kind of bothers me. The fact that we still cannot get past trying to throw a negative label on people to explain why we hate them so much. We used to call people the N-word. We used to call people faggots. We used to call people just about anything we could put out there, and we're still doing it. Fat is now the big one right now because, with adults, of course, we can't use other words because we don't want to be non-PC, but calling someone a fat piece of shit, that's not being non-PC. So I guess it just goes out to everybody who seems to think that pointing out my weight is going to make me feel bad, is going to make me feel like a horrible person. To the person on the street who wants 25 cents off me, who I say no to, who calls me a stupid fat fuck. To the kid on the internet who thinks telling me that I'm a fat piece of crap is going to make me curl into a corner and cry. To everybody out there who seems to think that telling people like me that we're fat is going to somehow make us kowtow to you. Get over yourselves. So to everyone else, I want to apologize that you had to hear me speak like that. I know I try to keep away from that sort of language the majority of the time, but sometimes it does kind of sneak its way out. To my fellow corpulent friends out there, I hope this gave you a little bit of something to chuckle at least knowing what I'm talking about here. To everybody else, hey, you know what? Have yourselves a good night. Have yourselves a good day. Be blessed.